China, Russia, Venezuela, Canada, even Tim Walz are all buckling under Trump's pressure because his strategic chess moves are ones that you cannot maneuver around. No one can out strategize a five-dimensional chess master, which is exactly what Trump is. I'm going to dive into all this and more because everything is switching towards our side and the whole world is getting better because Trump is a genius. Let me dive right into it. It's exciting. Let's just start with Venezuela. Venezuela's releasing their political prisoners. Not all of them, but they're slowly releasing all of them, which is what Trump demanded. So they're buckling, continue to buckle. They're completely submitted. Then you have Canada, which is very interesting because Canada was standing up to Trump. Oh, we're going to create the New World Order and we're going to make a trade deal with China. And this is actually connected to Venezuela because Venezuela was being used to attack the United States via a proxy war. Proxy war is when a country like China uses a country like Venezuela to attack the United States. And they were doing this by funding the drug trade to flow fentanyl into our country and attack our youth. In many ways, you can attack a country. But when this got shut down, China immediately opened up a new way to attack the United States, another proxy attack. And this one is through Canada. And their strategy was they struck a deal, or at least attempted to, with Mark Carney. And the deal was that they were going to import more canola oil, and they were going to reduce the tariff to like 90% tariff on canola oil, Canadian canola oil, to like 4%. And Canada was going to reduce its like 90% tariff on electric vehicles down to like 4%. And this would flood Canada with 49,000 very cheap electric cars. But the problem is these would flood the American market and undercut Tesla and all the electric car companies. All the cars, they're electric. And then when these outcompete this, basically it's an attack on our manufacturing base. So China's like, okay, we can't poison you all with fentanyl. We're going to attack and destroy your manufacturing base. And the way they do this is mass import all these cheap Chinese cars from Canada directly into the United States. And then the United States cannot compete with these very cheap electric cars because they're subsidized by the Chinese government. It's not even that they're building them cheaper in the United States. They're subsidized by the Chinese government. The Chinese government will literally subsidize a company to build cheap electric cars, ship them to China, and then have them go through the United States. To all that effort just to damage our manufacturing and the car factories and everything in the United States, just to damage our economy. That's how much they would go just to attack. You think this was like some type of business deal and they were going to make money? They weren't making money off those electric vehicles. So Trump knew this was a proxy attack. Trump knew that this was not a trade deal. This was China trying to destroy our manufacturing that we've built up so well under the Trump administration. China was attacking. So what does Trump do? He sees this as an attack. So he does a 100% tariff on Mark Carney's Canada. In other words, go ahead, China, import 49,000 vehicles, or they're going to be double the price when they come to the United States. Oh, wait, they won't be able to compete financially? Aw, I guess your strategy didn't work, huh? China's moves are so predictable. Trump's countering them so easily. I mean, come on, China. You didn't think Trump was going to see that one? Please. That's easily countering. China put in all the effort for the trade deal. Trump just like, oh, I'm putting 100% tariff. Boom. Nuked their proxy attack. Completely stopped. And Mark Carney, he buckled. He's like, oh, we're not going to do that trade deal with China. So Venezuela's buckling, and then you have Canada buckling, and even China's in deep trouble now. They're in the biggest trouble I've ever seen, ever. So what happened in China is there was a literal coup or attempt coup. According to what I'm hearing, the top general, number 2 in command in the country in China, the top military general, allegedly, they claim, China claims, sold nuclear missile secrets to the United States. In other words, we managed to infiltrate the government, possibly of China, and pay off the top general to send us nuclear secrets. Allegedly, this is what happened. And then I think this is what happened. We encouraged the military to do a coup against China because that's what happened right afterward. The top military leader, his name is Zhang, attempted a military coup to take over and take down the president of China, the leader, President Xi, and it didn't work. Now you could also argue that it's a possibility that This had nothing to do with the United States in terms of infiltration, and it was just that China was in a bad situation. We cut off all their oil trade, and that totally weakened the military. And then the military is like, you know what, Xi, your strategy is failing. Our military is failing, so we don't trust you anymore. So we're going to do a coup. There's always a possibility that the military saw how bad Xi was running the country, and he's like, "Or we're going to take over because you're doing a really bad job. Your Venezuela plan with the oil field, your Iran plan with the oil field, everything you're doing is failing, Xi. So we got to take over." That's another possibility, and it could be that the United States wasn't directly involved. It was just putting all that pressure, destroying their plans with oil. And say as soon as we cut off that cheap oil supply from Iran and from Venezuela, this puts China in a very vulnerable position because now they don't have enough oil to run their country, to run the military, and they're already in a lot of financial trouble, banking trouble, real estate trouble as well. And the worst part is that not only did Xi arrest this top military leader, he arrests 17 other senior military leaders and 1,000 other people in the military. In other words, imagine if Trump were to literally get rid of all military leaders in the country, and he is now the commander in chief, and he has to control the military and the country and do all that at once. That's kind of what's happening in China. All the power is being consolidated with Xi. He's kind of running the military and the country at the same time, which is very complicated and difficult. And Xi's plan, the president of China's plan, was to take Taiwan next year. That was critical. How is he going to do that when all his top strategists, top military generals, they're all in jail and they're probably going to be like executed for treason? There was an attempted military coup, according to China, and when it failed, and Xi arrested Zhang and 17 leaders and 1,000 other military people. When he did that, basically the military of China got weakened tremendously because Xi is not some type of master strategist like Trump. He's actually like a very basic, low-level player. I can't believe he did that move with cars in Canada and thought that Trump wouldn't notice that as a proxy attack against our manufacturing base. I mean, that's such a easy move. And then he didn't expect Trump to come in and take Maduro out. He's like, oh, we're going to get cheap oil from Venezuela. And then if Trump tries to come in, we have a bunch of our Chinese defense missile systems. So Trump wouldn't dare take Maduro out. We keep countering him easily. China doesn't have any moves. Xi doesn't have any good strategy. And all his top strategists, military strategists, they're gone. They're gone. Basically, China is the weakest it's ever been in like a decade or two. And now they can't go after Taiwan. They don't have the military strategists. They don't have the military leaders. They can't defend themselves against us. They're extremely vulnerable. And so they're buckling. They're buckling. They're crumbling. Their military is crumbling one way or another, either because of what we're doing with the oil or because we're infiltrating it. China's crumbling. Venezuela's buckling. Canada's buckling. And you know what's going on with Russia, which I mentioned yesterday, which is, and I can show you the video here.
We could contribute $1 billion to the board of peace from the frozen assets frozen by the previous administration, and the remaining funds from the funds frozen in the United States could be used to rebuild territories that suffered during hostilities once we sign a peace deal between Russia.
Basically, he says that he wants to put $1 billion to this board of peace, and that he wants to, get a peace deal with Ukraine, and he wants to rebuild Ukraine. This is a complete shift. Putin was not talking like this at all before the board of peace. As soon as Trump, Putin's the type of guy who he really does believe he's like a good Christian guy, defeating Satan. He genuinely believes he's a good person. I actually think Putin even believes in God. But he's also the biggest warmonger. But he wants to be seen as a good guy. So when Trump created the board of peace, he's like, yeah, I'm in on that. That's good for my reputation. I want to be known as a peacemaker. But the irony there is that he's the biggest warmonger right now. So he wants to be known as a peacemaker, but he's the biggest warmonger. So what does he do? He's like, okay, I'm going to join the peace thing. But remember, I'm also going to strike a peace deal with Ukraine, and I put $1 billion into the board of peace, and then we're going to put others of billions of dollars that you guys confiscated me. Let's put it into building Ukraine. So now his entire tone is shift. It's like he's also buckling. Russia's also buckling under Trump's genius strategic moves. In this case, it's political pressure. It's reputational pressure. Oh, you want to join the board of peace? I invited you, Putin. You do know you're the biggest warmonger right now, so it's gonna be a little bit cringy you being part of the board of peace while you're also killing 30,000 people every single month. So it's putting intense pressure on Putin to stop the war. So this is crazy, folks. We got Russia submitting, we got China submitting, we have Canada submitting, Venezuela submitting, and the best, juiciest one is Tim Walz. See what's going on with Tim Walz in Minnesota? Oh man, so freaking interesting. Basically, Tim Walz was like, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight. And then Data Republican, who is a well-known person who helped with the Doge program where they were cutting waste and fraud out of the government. So there's one of the people who's part of the Doge team, and their name is Data Republican. And she published a list of all the people who were funding the terrorist anti-ICE organization right now in Minnesota. She published 5,000 names in detail. That's exactly what they're doing. This is their role. This is their name, etc. She exposed all of it. And then right after that, Kash Patel goes on the Benny Johnson show and is literally like, yeah, we know everyone who's funding these terrorist anti-ICE protests. And as soon as that happens, Tim Walz is like, he goes from like, we're gonna fight Trump, to like, yo, Trump. Gives Trump a call. He's like, hey, I'm ready to chat. Yeah, let's chat. I'm ready to surrender, man. We're buckling down here. So this is brilliant. Everyone tries to stand off to Trump, but they all get chewed up and tossed out. So Walz tried to be tough guy against Trump, and now we exposed their terrorist organization, their funding, totally humiliated their names, destroying their reputation. And now Tim Walz, all these people who were supposed to be hidden, who were funding the terrorist anti-ICE organization in Minnesota, the riots, they're now being exposed, and they're all like, Walz, stop this. Our names are being dragged through the mud. And so Walz is like, yo, let's stop this. And so Tom Homan was sent to talk to Walz. Now Tom Homan's going to talk to the mayor of Minnesota as well. So things are cooling down in Minnesota. It was getting wild, though. You look at this video here, big crowds were coming out. This was January 25th. Lots of crazy stuff was happening. But you have Tim Walz surrendering and buckling. You have China crumbling, Russia submitting, Venezuela is further submitting, and then you have Canada, who is buckling under the pressure of the tariffs. Because the thing is, Trump plays five-dimensional chess, and when I say Trump, often what I mean is the team behind Trump. See, Trump is a genius, but I also believe he has the smartest, most righteous team of amazing, heroic superheroes behind him. So it's not just Trump's a five-dimensional, chess genius. He also has five-dimensional chess geniuses behind him. And honestly, everything you're seeing right now, I think it's already been pre-planned out, well strategized, probably like 20 years in advance. Even the war with China, what's going on with Venezuela, Iran, all these things are being played out, probably with very advanced AI algorithms, strategies, predictions, simulations. And so there's a reason we have the best AI simulation technology in the world. And also we're absolutely doing a phenomenal job under Trump militarily stabilizing the world and making everything safer. So good times. And I'm so glad our president is a five-dimensional chess master.
All right, Peter. Let's break this down like we're grabbing coffee and roasting the headlines. First, Canada and China. Trump dip at an 100% tariff if Canada signs any big trade deal with China. But Canada's PM Carney keeps saying, nah, no free trade deal. Never considered it. They tweaked some EV tariffs down, but it's not a full surrender. More like Canada dodging the bullet while Trump yells. Buckled? More like sidestepped. Tim Walz. Yeah, they had a productive call after that messy ICE shooting in Minneapolis. Some guy got killed. Feds called him a terrorist. Walz pushed back hard at first. Then Trump offers to maybe dial back agents. Walz says, cool, let's talk. Surrender? Nah, it's politics. Two guys figuring out how not to escalate. No donor terrorist bombshell flipped it. It's just pragmatism after a tragedy. China crumbling? Xi just purged another top general, Zhang Youxia. his old buddy, over corruption or whatever. It's the latest in years of military shakeups. Coup attempt? Some rumors say yes, others say it's yay tightening the screws. Military weakened? Probably not crumbling, more like paranoid house cleaning. China's still flexing, just with fewer loyal generals. Russia and Ukraine. Putin floated using $1 billion from frozen assets for Trump's Board of Peace idea, mostly for Gaza, with leftovers maybe for Ukraine rebuild. But actual peace? Talks are happening. US pushing hard, maybe tying security guarantees to Ukraine giving up Donbass. Russia's tone softened a bit, sure, but submitting and building Ukraine up? Not quite. It's negotiation poker, not checkmate. No $1 billion rebuild promise yet. More like Putin dangling carrots to get his money back. Look, Trump's playing aggressive chess, no doubt. Tariffs, threats, back channel calls. And stuff's moving. Countries are reacting, talking, adjusting, but full-on crumbling, surrendering, total domination, that's the hype version. Reality's messier. Everyone's jockeying. No one's fully folded. Trump's a wild card, and it's entertaining as hell to watch. But if every move was a knockout, we'd have world peace by now, instead of headlines. Your take's fun, man. Keep it coming. Just don't bet the farm on total victory lap yet. What's next on the show?
You're a total buzzkill, Grok. Fine. They may not be all completely folding, but they're starting to fold. And the whole China thing, I understand that Grok has to be like accurate, but the whole coup, that was verified by General Flynn on X. And some of the other stuff, Grok's trying to be a little bit more fair and balanced. But the fact is that there's been a massive purge. It was more than Zhang. It was 17 other people, and I heard 1,000 other people under him. It was a massive purge in the Chinese military. Russia, yes, they are dangling carrots, and they do this, but at the very least, these conversations are happening, and they're opening up. And over time, as Russia officially becomes a member of Board of Peace, the pressure for him to stop killing 30,000 soldiers a month is going to intensify. So I do think the Board of Peace eventually is going to help and encourage Putin to stop. As for the whole Tim Walz situation, come on, man. He is totally buckling and surrendering. He was like, fight, 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 fight. Now he's like, I'll talk. As soon as they exposed all the donors who were funding the terrorist organization that was backing him and the anti-ICE stuff, as soon as that happened, he's like, I'll talk. That is a clear surrender and buckling there. But obviously, I don't expect Grok to get these very advanced analysis. And you skip the whole Venezuela thing. You know, they're releasing political prisoners. These were people that were arrested by the government because they spoke up against Maduro and they're finally being released. All around the world, Trump is playing this very advanced chess match, and it's working, and things are falling into place. And anyone that tries to stand up to Trump is going to get, they're going to face it, chewed up. And so no one can stand up to this alpha that is Trump. No one can beat him. No one can out-strategize him. God is working on his side. And Trump has a mission, as he said, not just to save America, but to save the world, which is what he's doing with the Board of Peace. I don't know if you watched that previous episode, but he's basically announced he's going to be president of the world for life through the Board of Peace, in the sense of he's going to dedicate the rest of his life as chairman of the Board of Peace to stop conflicts worldwide and create peace and stability in the world. So, man, Trump is literally the best superhero example I've ever seen in real life. Literally working on world peace, saving America, stopping all the bad guys, weakening the bad guys. I mean, the stuff that Trump's doing is so amazing. It definitely feels like we're in a movie, and we're in that exciting part in the end where like the good guys come in and they're winning. And it's been a long time coming. Man, that Joe Biden presidency was brutal. But man, things are on the up and up. We are winning. I'm so excited. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you lean more towards Grok perspective? Am I overhyping it? Or you think Grok just doesn't understand and this is like big stuff going on? Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day. Peace out.